Tonight will not feel like every other night. Before your eyes finally close, before silence fills your room, something inside your heart will begin to change in a way you never expected. You have carried invisible weight for so long that even the people closest to you could never see it. They saw your smile, but they never saw the battles hidden behind it. They heard your words, but they never heard the questions that echoed through your soul after everyone else had gone to sleep. Yet tonight is different. Tonight is the moment you have unknowingly been walking toward for longer than you realize. Every disappointment, every unanswered prayer, every lonely tear, every closed door has quietly been leading to this very night. The darkness surrounding you has convinced you that nothing is changing, but darkness has never been able to stop the sunrise. Listen carefully, because what happens tonight may become the turning point people speak about years from now. Don't skip. There is something you have overlooked for a long time, and once you recognize it, you will never see your life the same way again. But before that truth is revealed, another hidden reality must come into the light, one that has been waiting patiently for the exact moment your heart was ready to receive it. There have been moments when you believed heaven had become silent. You asked questions that seemed to disappear into empty space. You wondered why doors kept closing just when hope appeared. You questioned why certain people suddenly walked away without explanation. What if every one of those painful moments was actually protection wearing the disguise of disappointment? Think about the opportunities you almost forced open, the relationships you almost refused to let go, the decisions you nearly made because you were tired of waiting. Imagine if every one of those paths had quietly led you away from the purpose prepared for your life. Suddenly, the delays begin to look different. Suddenly, the unanswered prayers no longer seem like rejection. They begin to resemble rescue. While you believed you were standing still, unseen hands were moving pieces beyond your vision. Conversations happened that you never heard. Obstacles appeared that kept danger farther away than you could imagine. Even the people who misunderstood you unknowingly played a role in preparing your future. They believed they were closing chapters, but they were actually creating space for something greater to enter. That is why tonight carries unusual significance. The waiting season is not ending because the calendar changed. It is ending because your perspective is about to change. Once your vision changes, everything around you begins responding differently. The greatest breakthrough rarely begins with circumstances. It begins with understanding. Stay till the end, because the next revelation connects every confusing moment of your past into one incredible picture, and when that final piece falls into place, you may realize that nothing was ever happening by accident. Right now, somewhere beyond what your eyes can measure, possibilities are quietly moving toward you. Not because you earned perfection, but because you refuse to completely lose hope, even on the hardest days. There were nights when giving up felt easier than believing again. Yet somehow, a small spark remained alive inside your heart. That tiny spark was enough. It always has been. Great transformations often begin with the smallest remaining light. Tonight is not about fear. It is about endings, the ending of burdens you were never meant to carry forever, the ending of constant doubt, the ending of believing your story had already reached its best chapter. The page is turning even if you cannot hear it. The chapter ahead contains conversations you never imagined having, opportunities that once seemed impossible, peace that cannot be explained by circumstances, and strength that surprises even you. But one final obstacle remains, and it is hidden in the place most people never think to look. It is not outside you. It is the quiet voice that has repeatedly whispered that nothing will ever change. Tonight that voice loses its influence, because another voice is becoming louder, the voice reminding you that hope was never wasted, that every delay carried meaning, and that every faithful step mattered more than you knew. Something huge is waiting for you. Before this night is over, the question that has followed you for so long will begin to receive its answer, and when tomorrow arrives, you may discover that the toughest night of your life was never sent to break you. It was preparing you for the morning that changes everything. The moment you stop expecting the answer to arrive in the way you imagined, everything begins to shift. That is the secret very few people ever discover. You thought the greatest battle was happening around you, but the real battle has always been taking place within your own heart. Every disappointment tried to convince you that your story had already reached its highest point. Every delay whispered that nothing remarkable was waiting ahead. Yet if that were true, why are you still here? Why did you feel drawn to this very message tonight? That quiet pull inside you is not random. It is a reminder that your journey is not ending where your fears predicted it would. There is a reason certain memories suddenly came back to your mind today. There is a reason certain names crossed your thoughts without warning. There is a reason your heart has been sensing that something is about to change, even when your surroundings appear exactly the same. Most people ignore these moments because they seem too ordinary. But sometimes the biggest turning point begins so quietly that only those paying close attention recognize it. What looks like another ordinary night is becoming the bridge between who you have been and who you are about to become. The chapter ahead cannot begin until you finally release what has been secretly draining your strength. It is not your past. It is not another person. It is the belief that your greatest days belong behind you. The instant that belief disappears, new doors begin opening in places you never thought to look. Before we go any further, if this message has already spoken to your heart, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need these words tonight. And if one sentence has stayed with you so far, tell me in the comments which one it was, because your words may become the encouragement someone else has been searching for. Now listen carefully, because this is where everything becomes even more unexpected. Imagine standing in front of a locked door for years, praying for it to open, only to discover later that the greatest gift was never behind that door at all. The gift was the path that forced you to walk somewhere completely different. Think about the people who underestimated you. Think about those who walked away before they saw what your future would become. At the time it felt painful, confusing, even unfair. But what if their departure created the exact space needed for the right people to enter your life? What if every ending you mourned was quietly making room for a beginning you could never have created on your own? Suddenly the broken pieces start fitting together. Suddenly the unanswered questions begin forming one clear picture. Every setback becomes part of a greater design. Every delay becomes preparation. Every season of waiting becomes training for the responsibility you are about to receive. This is why you cannot judge your story by the chapter you are currently living. A single page never reveals the entire ending. And here is the revelation that changes everything: what has been growing inside you is stronger than every obstacle standing in front of you. Strength was being built while you believed nothing was happening. Wisdom was increasing while you thought time was being wasted. Peace was taking root while chaos surrounded you. Even when you felt forgotten, your future was still moving toward you, one unseen step at a time. That is why tonight feels different. It is not because circumstances have suddenly become perfect. It is because your perspective is beginning to align with a purpose far greater than your fears. Once that happens, everything starts looking different. Doors that seemed impossible no longer appear unreachable. Mountains no longer seem permanent. Hope no longer feels like wishful thinking. It becomes quiet confidence. But the most surprising moment has not arrived yet. There is one final truth that many people spend their entire lives without realizing. The breakthrough you have been waiting for may not begin with something changing around you. It may begin with one decision inside you. The decision to stop measuring your future by yesterday's disappointments. The decision to believe that delayed does not mean denied. The decision to keep walking even when you cannot yet see the destination. That single decision changes everything because it transforms the way you see every challenge that comes next. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin asking, "What is this preparing me for?" And that question unlocks a completely different future. From this night forward, every step carries new meaning. Every sunrise becomes another reminder that your story is still unfolding. Every closed door reminds you that the right one is still ahead. Every moment of waiting reminds you that timing has value. You are far closer than you realize to the answer you have been seeking. What seems like the toughest night is quietly becoming the foundation of your strongest tomorrow. Hold on to that truth, because the next part reveals the one hidden promise that connects every struggle, every delay, every unanswered question, and every impossible situation into a single breathtaking purpose. And once you hear it, you will never look at your journey the same way again.